Do you know that every law, rule, tradition, norms that we have in our societies and in the world today are all precepts or inventions of the human race, of humans? Everything that we conform to, do, and set as standards for ourselves, people in the communities to follow, are actually things that we invented ourselves to keep ourselves in check, to make sure that nobody actually does cross a line to do something which is going to be one less beneficial to the society or destroy the bare fabrics of what makes up the society to cause people to um, be in danger or get hurt. But then the world is changing, and then we are beginning to form new ideals for the precepts of what society should be like. Things are becoming much more fluid uh, um, um, than static, and this has raised a lot of concern in the world where most people who are of the idea of the static um, um, societal or nominal way of life are having a very hard time to accept. But then, if if we are the masters of the world as humans on this planet, and we've been on this planet for so long and growing on into the future, now being in a modern world, don't you think there's a reason why we should revise some of these things that we believed, that we held on to, that we followed? Don't you think it's reasonable to review some of these things that we held so dear in the past, which are actually hurting us in this modern world? It's important that in every generation or at every point in time, we analyze and see that the things that we do follow are actually reviewed to find out whether they still function efficiently in the world, in our societies. If they don't, then there's a need for there to be a change. So, what are some of the changes that I think, some of the things that I think we should begin to review? One, especially in Ghana, I think there's a need for the review of our education system. Why do I say this? In the olden times, most people that went to school all had the idea of, okay, I want to go to school, go to university, get my degrees, and then come out and then work for someone, and voila, everybody's happy. But then things are changing now. That's not normally the norm now. And then remember, in those times, internet wasn't very, very, very useful to anybody much else in Africa or in Ghana in particular. So everything was to be hard coded, everything was to be memorized, everything was to make sure that you read extensively and keep it in your head and recite it to whoever is in need of it. And that was what was defined to be smart. And that's anybody who was able to do that was called intelligent or smart. And then these were the people who were needed in the working industries to help develop the country or maybe making money and all the sorts. But then this is the year 2022. Things have changed. Even the little kid of 3 has access to the internet, and then the internet has an access to almost every information that is in the world in diverse forms and manner. So why shouldn't the internet be incorporated into the education system, and then things shifted and changed to the extent that memorization isn't something that we should be doing anymore in schools, and then exams shouldn't actually be held on the basis of how well can you remember this. I mean, it's important that we do remember stuff, but then in a real world, nobody's actually going to give a shit about what you have been able to memorize, the equations you know in your head and all the stuff. You're not going to sit there without anything to guide you, right? So why shouldn't we make sure that our education system is modernized and shaped in such a way that the internet can fill in exactly, gets to know, gets to teach students and people how to use the internet rightly to make sure that they get to succeed, than trying to black them out of it. And the only use for the internet is to post videos on the internet, on Instagram, and watching YouTube videos on things that are not very much important. There needs to be a bigger change, and we need to set the rules again. We need to review the rules again, and come up with better ones to suit the whole of society. Else, we are in grave danger as Ghanaians, we are in grave danger as a country, and we are in grave danger as Africans, and even the human race as a whole. This is a big concern, and it needs discussion and solution.